Ora viva pessoal, my name is André and welcome to the review of Tinykins. Tinykins is a platform game with puzzles. It was developed by Splash Team Studio, which is composed of creators from Ubisoft. So the game is still in development. This is an alpha demo, as you can see it, and the full game is expected to be released at the summer of this year. From what I could realize, the game is pretty much complete in terms of graphics and all those little things. I assume that the only thing they are finishing are just tiny details, because I haven't found any single complication with my gameplay. The game was just superb. If I have to point out something that I was actually missing, I would have to point it to a few options that are not available on the game itself. Like, I don't think you have achievements ready just yet. Apart from that, nothing is missing. Story-wise, we are controlling a little kid, well, it seems like a kid, called Milo. He's an astronaut from the far future who, after discovering Earth, decided to venture himself into it. Unfortunately, when he decided to go onto Earth, or into Earth, I don't know if it's on or in, but one of them, not only did he just realize that he was the size of a penny, he was actually in about 1991. There were no humans, just sapient insects. His purpose now is to leave Earth, and apparently doing that will also make him stumble upon something that's Earth's greatest secret. The house that we arrive in belonged to a guy called Ardwin, who, by the way, is considered a deity in this game. And he's basically adored by every insect. Actually, there's like a little temple adoring him, so yeah. When we arrive there, we are approached by a critter called Ridme, and he realizes that we can control the Tinykins. Nobody else can do anything with them, but we can do something with them. They are actually controlled by us. So he thinks, and he goes, okay, I can use that. His plan consists on setting up a device whose schematics was left behind by Ardwin. And he thinks that that device will allow him to go very far outside the house. So control-wise, the game recommends that we use a controller. I actually didn't use a controller. I used the keyboard and mouse. By the way, it was flawless. I could actually use it very, very well. No issues there. The only thing that I realized, that, and it's probably part of one of the things that they need to tweak, is instead of showing, when the game shows you the shortcuts, instead of showing you the shortcuts to what you are using, in my case was keyboard and mouse, it shows you the shortcuts to the controller, like triangle and B or A and so on and so forth. The controls that you need to use are actually quite simple. In my case, I only used Shift, Spacebar, and mouse buttons. Other than that, I didn't need anything. In terms of design, the game is pretty simple and it's quite beautiful, to be honest. The graphics are beautiful. They are 3D, with the exception of Milo, who has that paper-ish feeling to it. He's always facing forward, and I never played Paper Mario, but I've seen a few gameplays here and there, and it seems like it's at least the character seems like Paper Mario. Everything else is 3D. Game-wise, the game is perfect, apart from those shortcuts that are missing. It's pointing to the controller shortcuts instead of the keyboard shortcuts. I haven't missed any single thing. The game is flawless. One of the things that I found quite interesting was the way that you make the Tinykins work. You just shoot them at what you want to do and they operate. After having enough Tinykins, they will do their things on their own. You just need to keep up with them to see where they're going. Right in the beginning of the game, that little critter, Readme, offers us a soap so that we can run faster, and we can actually do a few things with it, such as go through some strings that some critters can provide, so that we can not only go from point A to point B faster, but it sometimes opens up new travel paths to us. One of the things that I realized, and I actually do enjoy about this game, is that the game saves frequently. So if something happens to you, like the PC or the computer goes down, you most likely will be very close to where you were when that thing happened. In the full game, you will be able to explore a full house. Here in the demo, we only have 3 sections available. We have the hall, which is when you arrive into the game. After that, you go to the cellar, which seems like it's the game hub, basically, where you can see the progress and all that stuff. That's where we see the Readme, that little critter, who's trying to assemble that device that allows him to go to somewhere that we don't know where it is. After that, we follow to what it seems to be like the first level of the game, which is the living room. In the full gameplay, you will be able to go not only to where we are going right now, but we can have access to the veranda, the bathroom, the kitchen, the bedroom, and the attic. One of the things that I found very interesting about this game is the fact that a single room, in this case the living room, has a lot of things to explore. There were about 1,300 little honey things to collect, and there were quite a few insects with tasks that we could do, and in return they either gave us tiny artifacts that were lost and we need to bring back to the hub, or they just gave us, I don't know exactly what they are, they're like tiny cubes that will allow us to glide for a longer period of time. In terms of abilities, our character has 3 abilities. He can skateboard with the soap, he can jump, and he can glide by doing the double jump. The glide is something that's going to be improved as we go along on the game. We collect a few cubes. As I've said before, I don't know what they are, but you collect a few cubes. In the living room, we needed 8 cubes so that we could fill another bubble. And basically what happens is when you glide, you're going to empty the bubbles, and then if you have another bubble to empty, it'll go and empty the next one. So we have quite a few bubbles to throughout the game. We have quite a few bubbles to empty, which means that we are going to be able to traverse a long distance just by gliding. However, the focus of this game is the Tinykins that we find. These little aliens that we can control and nobody else can. They are very tiny critters that follow us, and there are actually 5 different types of Tinykins in the full game. However, in this demo, we only have access to 2, and they are the pink ones, who have the strength to lift up and move objects. And we also have the red ones, which are explosive. Now the difference is, when you use a red one, he disappears because he explodes and you lose the red alien. When you have pink ones, they will do their thing, they will move, and once the object has been moved, you can use them again for other things. And that was it, guys. I think that this game is amazing. I am looking forward to actually getting the full game and play it through and through. I hope you have enjoyed this little review. Again, it's been my first review. It's not exactly perfect. I'm not used to doing these things, but hopefully I will improve over time, and the next one will be a little bit better. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all on my next video. Bye bye.